I our first came.
Speak out, project.
Oh. Our first came to get a certificate in construction, but then I changed my mind because there was already something else in my heart, and I decided to pursue a degree in psychology because that's what I wanted to do in my heart. And anyway, my experience here at Lane has been really eye-opening and really helpful. Way more than I ever thought. I think the main reason I came here was because of my grandma. Uh, she paid for me to take a class in spring, and I went. And then I decided, hey, I should keep going because it was really fun. I always liked school. I was never able to really pursue all the things that I wanted and to try to reach my potential. So the second time I came back, I really decided that I should do that. Um, and also, during my time here, I ended up taking a class from Jim Garcia, and it was that Chicano Studies / leadership class, and I think that helped me out a lot because I have some inner turmoil that I have been living with for a long time, and I didn't really understand the source of it, and I don't know that I will entirely, but I understand it more and more, and that class was really helpful. It just taught me a little bit about my own history and about the history of the different peoples of the world. Yeah, I was born in '88 in the highlands of Guatemala. So I don't know if most people know, but during that time there was civil war going on down there, and that is the main reason why I'm here in Eugene, Oregon, because I am adopted. It means I'm missing, or I don't have my birth parents. And yeah, and in that class, I got to learn a little bit more about the different struggles that different governments have and their their views of what a government ought to be, or and what its role is, and what it should do for its people. And it's really unfortunate that some of them that it becomes a absolute my way or no other way. And yeah, I'll leave it at that. That class has been really helpful for me, just understanding a little bit more about my frustrations of missing something and just being okay with not having it and understanding why.
Thanks, Diego.
Good afternoon or late morning to y'all. My name is Wesley Smith, and I'm a Native American from Warm Springs, Oregon, which is in Central Oregon. A little bit about myself, I grew up on the reservation, learning a lot of destructive, nature within our society, the drugs, the alcohol, being really fortunate to have had an experience out here at Lane and been accepted. When my mind was clouded with doubt, I came to Lane Community College and I applied. I don't have the best track record, followed me when I came to Lane. I have multiple felonies on my record, which, was hard for me to get a job out here. I couldn't find a job, so, my life was in doubt. And I didn't know which way I was gonna go. And like my old thinking told me, I guess I'm just set. I'm born to be a failure in society, because that's what I was taught, or through a story of emanation, which I was taught by Jim Garcia here at this college, that I was living by that story of emanation. And today, I do not believe in that story of emanation that was given to me. I'm in a transitional, living my life of transformation where I know that I have a story to tell for myself, to give, to present for myself. And not only that, it's like I'm a leading example for some of the unfortunate children around Warm Springs that, you know, they're in that same state of mind that I was, you know, doubt, you know, I'm not going to have nothing, I'm not going to be nothing, you know. But you know, I was that guy, you know. And now that I've come to Lane, I've came to an understanding, and I fight for people rights, I fight for my people, I fight for everybody, you know. And I'm here today just to share a little bit about yourself, you know, about myself, you know, and I'm grateful to be here today. You know, I'm succeeding, and that's, you know, that feels so good to be able to say, you know, I took a whole 180-degree turnaround. You know, it wasn't easy. You know, I still have my struggles every day, but, you know, just knowing the fact that I'm still here at Lane Community College succeeding. You know, I got almost all A's last term. I got 1 C. But I couldn't have done it without the encouragement and the help of the people that are here at Lane Community College that, you know, really helped me. Being involved in the student government, involved in myself, you know, getting to know people of different ethnicities than myself, you know, because I was raised with, my father told me, you can't trust no one in this world. Don't trust the white people, don't trust the Mexicans, don't trust the African Americans. You can only trust your own people. And that was what was in my mind. You know, that's because that's what I was taught, you know. And then I come out here and I find, you know, a whole diverse community here at Lane. You know, people accepting, smiling at me that I didn't even know, you know, saying hi to me, you know, how you doing, you know. And I'm like, I don't know you, you know, why are you talking to me, you know. And that was very appalling to see that type of community. And you know, it really like, okay, that's not the story. You know, everyone's not bad. There's really good people in this world. And it started right here at Lane Community College for me. You know, I'm a first-generation student, and I'm going to succeed. I'm the only one in my family that's in college and that is doing something for himself. And that's going to help, you know, not only my family, but my family back home and my people back home to see, okay, hey, there's a dream, and he's reaching it, you know, and you know, that's what I'm grateful for. And, you know, I'll share more with you later on in the conversation. Thank you.
So, I'm Tashiko. I'm Jewish from my dad's side, which technically means I'm not really Jewish, but I identify as one. I've been going to Lane for about 3 years now. My story doesn't really start until my second year. My second year is when I got more into like clubs and started getting into a whole bunch of ethnicity clubs that they had here. Abathu just got reinstated after 20 years, and I really wanted to join that because of my history with Japan that I have, because I really want to go and teach. And then through Abathu, I started getting involved with like student government because Abathu needed help because it's been gone for so long. And then as I started getting involved with student government, I also started kind of to learn a little bit more about my dad's side, because it was something that I started to kind of embrace at that time because of a workshop that I went to that they had. This is like what identity you belong to, and I didn't really know what identity I belonged to. And then after that, because I was talking about my people, so much the Jewish people, I realized after that that I'm Jewish. And that's what I identify as. And so I've been identifying as a Jew, but the problem is here at Lane, there wasn't anything for people who were Jewish here. So I started a Jewish club and we had our first meeting yesterday, so that was great. But the problem is being Jewish and coming to Lane Community College is really, really hard because people see you as a white woman, they don't see you as a person of color or as a Jew. And also my disability makes it even more difficult. And so it's just really, really hard because when I want to do all of these things, I'm limited because of my disability. And then also when I sign up for anything and I have like, oh, what's your, what's your identity or what race do you belong to? And it doesn't have it, so I have to put it in the other. And because so many people think Jews are white. So it's been really, really hard, and I've been finding more about my people overall, like all the story, like the segregation stories that happened, and then like during the civil rights movement, during the Holocaust, and all these other things that the history books doesn't talk about, and things that I think that are really important for America to know is that other people. So it's been really, really hard, but LCC is definitely slowly progressing into the direction that I think will be good for myself. And I'm hoping that if I get involved with student government and with the Jewish club, that maybe things will be better here for myself and for my people.
Thank you.
So I wanted to ask you, what do faculty, staff, administrators, and/or other students do to make you feel welcome on this campus? And if you could just tell, one story, one story that kind of illustrates what any people from any of those groups have done to make you feel welcome here.
Hello. The thing that helps me the most is the fact that I have a disability, and that the staff in the facility respect that, and that they're willing to pretty much help me accommodate with the needs that I need for my disability. And so I think that's the best thing for me, is that most of the staff here help me with my disabilities and making sure I do well in class and give me the extra time that I need in order to succeed in school.
And for myself, one of the greatest things, like as a faculty, that I experienced when I came here was knowing that my cousin James Florendo was here at the school, and really encouraged me to pursue a goal and to reach for higher things and to not give up on myself, because a lot of times I have highly doubted myself in everything I've done, and to come out here and have that help and that encouragement really inspired me to do more. And as well as Jim Garcia, when I first came, James wasn't in the office, so I was sitting at a computer, didn't know what I was doing, and Jim, he came up to me and said, "Do you need any help?" And I said, "Yeah, I do." And he helped me figure out how to register for my classes and get into my classes and register, so I would be ready to go on the beginning of the winter term. So that was a great. That's how faculty helped me here.
Yeah, the biggest thing that's helped me is just being able to talk to faculty in general. I don't usually like asking people for things, or asking for help, but I also don't like people to push their help on me. So sometimes I'm really hard to help. But but what I really like is when I do need help and I finally seek it out, is that people are there. They take the time to sit down and listen to me and make suggestions, and when I ask them. But sometimes I wish they would make it before I ask them, but And yeah, that's the biggest thing for me, is just having the ability to talk to them when you need them, and not just have them say that they don't have time or that they don't know and send you to someone else. And yeah, that's really frustrating when that happens.
So it sounds like this is all on the theme of helping, but Tashiko's having offices and policies that respond in a way that's supportive of your disability and of helping you to succeed as a student. And Wesley talked about having someone just say, "Do you need help?" Coming right out and offering help. And Diego, more about understanding that prickliness or warding off doesn't mean I don't want help. Hang in there with me, spend more time, spend enough time to get to know me, and push a little bit, and don't let me push you away. Is that fair to say? So on the other flip side of that, what have people from any of these groups, faculty, staff, administrators, students, what have they done or do they do to make you feel excluded or not included on campus?
Well, just to address that, I really haven't had that experience out here at Lane, but what I have, realized is that, and what really was pretty, confusing to me is that, we was trying to get a cultural competency thing, trainings here for our faculty, and we was talking about, living in the social structure of the past, and from what I heard was there was some faculty that wasn't willing to take the diversity, the cultural competency, courses at this campus, and, and I kind of felt that was, that was really sad to hear that, that there were some people not willing to take that chance to learn something about other people and their ethnicities, and I think, we all need to, we're a changing world, we all need to have these changes, and that's, one of the letdowns that, some of the faculty, not all the faculty, we have a very good bunch of faculty here that support and understand, that we're a diverse, changing community and society, but, and it's just those ones that, are lacking that knowledge and that experience and want to change that destructive lifestyle, but that's, other than that, there's other things, but they're just minor. There's nothing major, I don't think, but racism is still here, in not only here at Lane, but in this country, and we need to, open our eyes to that and stop brushing it under the rug and assuming that it's not here no more, because it is.
Thank you.
So I have a couple of different stories. One actually happened last term where I took a class and the teacher that I had was inconsiderate of my disability. And so by the second week, I knew that I was going to fail that class if I did not drop it, because he made it almost impossible for me to succeed in that class. So I had to drop it and had to go through this huge process. And then I had to find another class to take because I get financial aid and they require you to have 6 credits, and I only had 4 because I was taking half time and I dropped that class, which was a 4-credit class. So I had to add another class. And so that was really hard to find someone to take me in, but I ended up doing a co-op with Steve Candy, who's the advisor for the Jewish Student Union. And then also I also have other times where I am talking with staff and everything about my disability, because my writing's really bad. And I have problems with writing, and I'm always dropping words out. I'm always, there's some kind of words I don't really know how to spell, and the spell check can't really figure out what they are because they're so bad. And teachers are always like, okay, so I know this is under letter of accommodation, and I'll definitely try to help, but then they give me the paper back, and then they want me to redo it, and then I give the paper back, and then they give it back to me, and so this is an ongoing process. If it stresses on me, and I have to do the very best work I can in order to get the good grade in order to succeed in college, but the teachers are always making it very difficult for me to succeed because my writing's so bad, and I don't know how to fix it. So I'm struggling with that, and also my ethnicity, where people don't recognize that Jewish is not just a religion, it's also a culture and an identity. And so when I'm trying to do stuff about stuff like anything for any of the clubs, and they want to know what my ethnicity is, or anyone in general, it just makes it really hard because they don't recognize it.
Yeah, I like to think inside my head a lot, so I'm just usually just sitting and thinking, just staring off. But which makes it problematic sometimes, because when people say stuff, I don't really know where they're coming from sometimes, and I think that's one of the things that makes me feel unwelcome sometimes, because if it's unclear, or there's no connection there or relationship, and someone says something that I can't really interpret, or I don't know which way to interpret it, and sometimes I don't feel compelled to figure out exactly what was said, but yeah, that's a big one for me because most of the time I tend to interpret it as something negative, you know, or offensive, and I guess it should be a priority of mine to figure out what was said, you know, or how it was meant, because if I don't, then it's just I tend to take it, you know, like as an insult, whatever it was. And I think that was one thing that happened in one of my classes, because one of the teachers came out and she said something about no whining or complaining in this class, and I was like, what, you can't express yourself in this class? And then what she said was that I guess there's always someone in the class that's going to be like, you know, I forget what she said, but like basically like a hard ass or something. And I was like, okay. But I ended up failing the class. I got like a 69%, I think it was, which I was really upset, and I tried to get a hold of her, but I guess it was too late. But yeah, things like that are like unsettling. They just leave me kind of hanging, and I don't know where I stand after that.
So, I mean, one of the patterns I hear in these three stories is what's off-putting, or where students can feel excluded, is if there's not a welcoming environment, whether it's in the classroom that created so that you feel like what you have to contribute is going to be valued, that you can say what you think, whether it's a welcoming environment that acknowledges the value of your cultural heritage and its importance to you as students, whether it's creating an environment where, and I would say this is at an institutional level, where faculty and staff help each other understand how to help students with disabilities succeed academically, so they don't feel like they're in it by themselves or they're stuck alone. And sometimes faculty meet each other in order to be able to do that, because we may not know. And so how do you create a proactive situation rather than leaving it to the student to sink or swim? What's one thing that you wish staff would do differently? Staff writ large.
I really wish that staff at large would take people who have disabilities into more consideration. I know we have a disability resource center here, but the problem is there's so many glitches with a lot of the technology, because the schools are so enriched with all of this other technology that it makes it really hard for me to do anything. Also, when I watch videos of anything, it's either on YouTube or anything, and they try to find subtitles, the technology just doesn't work. They have this little subtitle button, but it doesn't work, and there's no place that I can go to actually really listen to any of the stuff, so I have to rely on my note taker. My teacher has to put my hearing devices somewhere up top, and also not just for me, but for other people. I've noticed that people with disabilities can't really get around and do much here at Lane Community College. And I've talked to a couple of people, and they said it's just going to cost money to do it. And I know there's a lot of remodeling that's going on right now, but it's just something that LCC is not really taking seriously, and that's making it really hard for me and other people with disabilities.
You want to go next?
Oh, sure. Yeah. Sometimes I really wish that faculty would inform themselves about other departments, because sometimes I go to a particular department and ask them a question, and the simple answer is, I don't know about that. And that's it. And it makes me wonder, you know, like why they're getting paid to just sit there, you know, tell people that they don't know. And yeah, it's really frustrating, because most of the time they don't know anyone else that can help you either. So it's like, well, can you send me to someone that can help me? And you know, most of the time it's no. But yeah, and just informing themselves about other departments and working with other departments too. That's I see that that's something that's missing. Just more like cohesiveness and working together.
Okay, and I guess something that I feel that would be really helpful for students here at Lane would be for the staff to listen. That's one of the biggest things that we need to learn as people is how to listen, not so much as think we know everything and assume that okay, these people should be just the same as us and have the same qualifications, education as us because they're in college now. When it's really hard to want to learn when you're getting turned away, just like Tashiko said, because of a disability. I had an issue not too long ago. I'd say it was in 2009. I had got my jaw broken at an incident. I got jumped downtown, and I was in a riding class, riding 120, and riding 120, I believe, and. Yeah. Anyway, it was my writing class, and I had missed one peer review, and I missed that peer review because I was in the hospital. I just got surgery, got my jaw wired shut, my mouth wired shut, and when I went and talked to this teacher, he just looked at me and said, "Well, I told you at the beginning of the term, if you miss any of these peer reviews, that you need to drop the class because I'm going to fail you," and and that really hurt me, and I'm like, I just expressed to you that my jaw's broken. You see, I'm here, I'm on these drugs that they gave me, and I'm trying to talk to you and get you to understand that, hey, life happens. I got my jaw broke. I missed your peer review. What can I do to make that peer review up? And he said, there's nothing you can do. You just might as well just go drop my class. And that hurt me, I was here, it was really sad because I came to school 2 days after I got out that hospital with my jaw broken, taking my pain pills, and still, my mind wasn't in total coherence, but I was still in that class. I still came because my fear of losing, getting dropped out of that class, and to present myself with that problem and to have been told that, it really hurt. So, it's just like to have some understanding, not only through the staff, is to know that we all have lives, and, it's not always, this, silver spoons, so that's that'd be really good, just to have more of an open mind and some good staff to just listen to you and your problems.
So again, we see the connection between interpersonal and institutional relations. So there's the interpersonal about having a place for students to bring personal situations that they're struggling with, but also institutional policies and practices and putting the money in to really make the environment inclusive for all students, and perhaps for supporting faculty to gain the knowledge needed to be effective advisors and know the answers, or at least not to leave it at I don't know the answer to that, but to help pursue with the student what the answer might be to whatever the question is. How are we doing? One more? So the strategic initiative, one aspect of the strategic initiative here, as I understand it, is to find ways to increase support for student success here at Lane College. So maybe we'll close on that. What's one thing, if you were the consultant being hired to help the college, what's one thing that you would suggest as a way of as something the college could do to help enhance student success, and maybe ground it in what has helped you most to be successful here?
I think one thing that would be really helpful for staff if I was pretty much in that position is to make things a lot easier. Like if they had any question whatsoever, you could just write it down, and we could have some kind of thing on the website. If you have any questions, then we can get back to you. We can tell you where to go, or and then also just kind of making it where staff could pretty much okay, so I'm gonna get training and this and everything, and I can go this to get your training. So I think more of connection would be really, really good, with the students and the staff, where when people have questions, they can just write it down, and they can have some kind of hotline, okay, on like maybe my lane or some kind of like question hotline where you just have any kind of question whatsoever. It's like academic or financial or whatever, and we'll answer it. We'll send you back an email, and this is where we can take you to. And then also, if you're having a problem with like disabilities or there's something wrong with like the way this building works, we'll try to figure out how we can train staff or maybe make the buildings more accommodating to your needs.
Something that I feel that would be a great help is like, I know that thousands of students here at Lane right now are facing is the financial aid. You know, I had set up for, you know, my bills to get paid by today. You know, yesterday I was supposed to receive my money, which I don't got no money. I got 30 cents on my Hire One card right now. And my phone's gonna get turned off, and I'm gonna have, you know, I'm gonna have to pay the restart and fees and so forth, you know, and that's really hard, you know, being that I believe we did start a week later this term than the usual. Last year we came back on the 3rd, I believe, and you know, and I got my money by the 14th, which helped me pay my bills, you know, and right now, you know, it's going to be hard because I live on my financial aid. So, you know, it's like something that I think that would be helpful is for the financial aid to be ahead of the game, not you know, come up with something, say, oh, well, we made a mistake, and not to stop making those mistakes, because we have to live on this financial aid, you know. I can't get a job, like I said, I'm a convicted felon. I put that on my application for a job, it goes in the trash as soon as I give it to them. So, you know, like right now, that's my financial, you know, security is my financial aid. And if I can't pay my bills, you know, that's gonna hinder my success in college, because I'm not gonna be able to come to school if I can't pay for my bills. You know, I'm gonna have to go back home or whatnot and try again, you know. But, you know, I kind of think, you know, is to keep in mind that students should come first out here. I mean, you know, it's about, you know, help and support and keeping us moving forward with our success in our post-secondary education.
I wanted to add something. Also, the changing on the new Pell Grant, which went from 9 years to 6 years, that's going to make it really, really hard for people with disabilities because we take a lot longer to do things. And so that's going to make me getting the success I need because of my disability. So I think that also is making it really, really, I wish you guys could kind of, maybe for disabilities, kind of have people who have disabilities have like a leeway, or people who have like a different learning style, but changing that is going to make it really hard for me to succeed in college.
I like the word community in Lane Community College. I think someone brought this to my attention one time that it is a community college, and in being a community, I would like for it to be just, I guess, having the teachers just be a little bit more understanding, because I think there's a lot of people out here, I'm pretty sure there are a lot of people out here, and we're all at different mental states and having different mental and emotional needs, and I think just having, I think compassion, you know. Sometimes teachers aren't very understanding of situations, I think like Wesley was talking about, but also just like a lot of people have like psychological problems as well, and you know, I think just being friendly and compassionate would reduce the chances of anyone acting out like their emotional frustrations. And I know sometimes I have a lot, and I'm really grateful that people here are pretty friendly, and I know that I can talk to someone at least, you know, and just decompress and get my mind back on like what it needs to be on, just my education and friends and family and staying healthy. So.
Thank you. So your consultants have suggested a few things to look at. It sounds like one issue is, and I'm sure that faculty share many of these concerns, but one is how might you build community with students differently or more than you do now? Or what are the ways you already do it that you're happy with, and how can you build on those ways? Another issue that isn't facing only Lane College is the whole financial aid situation and how it impacts students, but sometimes hearing what it looks like from a student's perspective can give us a sense of urgency that we may not experience otherwise. And these are tough challenges. These are not simple solutions, but perhaps there is a sense of way in which, as a community with students, you might move forward in addressing some of these challenges. So join me in thanking the students.
Thank you.
Can everyone hear her? Do you want to? What about one of these? Come up here.
This is for all of you, but Wesley, when you were speaking about where you came from and how you got here, that your family isn't going to college, and all the difficulties you've had, I'm always curious about what kind of support you might get, or if they support you. Do people in your family, where you come from, feel glad that you're coming here, or do they feel threatened by that? What helps you and what makes it harder?
Well, we have it's kind of biased right now. I have a lot of people that are supporting me, and then again, I have those people that are saying, "Oh, Wesley, yeah, I remember him. He was that bad guy out there that was, doing drugs and drinking and being in gang involvement and so forth," and still have that same persona of me and holding on to that persona, not willing to accept me as another individual. And for my family supports me 110%. And like with my tribe, as the education department, I don't meet their requirements to get financial aid support from them, so I don't get the financial aid support I need from my tribe. I can't reach I don't want to take the 16 credit, limit that's required from my tribe, and, because I get FAFSA. 12, credits is the maximum you have to take to get support, and to have to take 16 credits, I'm bound to fail, because that is going to overwhelm myself, and I cannot meet those requirements. So I just live on what I am, doing what I'm doing with my FAFSA. I'm gaining a large debt, I'm building some debt. I got like $25,000 in debt right now, and by the time I get to my bachelor's degree, I'm going to be overwhelmed with debt, and that's going to make it even harder. And I just wish that, there was more support towards education, and to understand that, I know that like a majority of you got to go to college or whatever with the $300 tuition rate, and we paying a lot more today. So, it's just, we're in changing times, and I wish I had more support from my tribe, but the support I do got here is grateful. I'm grateful for the people that are here to support me, the community, the student clubs, the ASLCC, which, fights for student rights and student equality, and the Oregon Student Association, which does the same, and the USSA, the United States Student Association. I've had times to be involved with all these organizations, and it's a remarkable organizations because we're fighting for equality, equal rights towards education. So, and it's not that easy, but hey, nothing's easy in life. We take what we can out of it, and we succeed with what we can, and what we can't, we strive even harder to pursue it.
Another question?
Here's one in the back.
It sounds College, Diego, Wesley, and Tashiko, for your honesty, your courage, your leadership, to be, bring what you brought here today for all of us here at Lane Community College, and the difference that you're making for all the students who are here now and moving forward into the future.
I was very touched with Wesley's story about trying to make up for the peer review that you'd missed because of the incidents of violence that you'd experienced personally. And I would like to challenge my colleagues to make exceptions, that each of our students is an exceptional human being. They're exceptional just by the fact that they're in front of us. They're working, they're trying, they're opening their minds. The least we can do is open our minds too. Thank you for your stories. All three of you were very, very moving and touching.
Before the food's all set up, so does anybody else have any other questions for the students? We'll do a Q&A with Dr. Bell right after lunch on hers. So you'll be able to ask her any questions that you might have. And then we'll also have one person who will be presenting on Lane's history and Heritage history with death in the context of stories within that history after lunch, and followed by a question. And then at 2 o'clock, we'll be moving the conference over to the CML, the Center for Media and Learning, building number 19, because we have several concurrent sessions going on at that time. We have another student panel, we have a staff panel. Dr. Bell's going to be presenting, and I think Shishikana's going to be presenting back there, and Jim Garcia. So look at the insert inside your program, and you'll get to see, it has descriptions of all the various concurrent sessions, but we have time for any other questions real quick? Pam? Okay.
I know there's times where things really get hard on you. You find yourself up against the wall and you just can't get through. And I personally, when I hit my wall, I had a certain event in my life that I remembered, and that broke me out. Do you guys experience anything like that that is like a key that turns you on again when you find yourself unable to go forward?
I pretty much rely on Asian dramas to pretty much bring me back to any walls that I have or listening to Asian music. Just because I've spent most of my time being alone, kind of doing all the stuff by myself and not really having very much of a role model. So in order for me to move forward and go back, I have to remind myself kind of like why I'm living and why I'm here, and watch Asian dramas and remember that this is what I want to do, this is my motivation. And that kind of just helps me kind of, when I hit that wall, I can go back there and look at what I want to do and watch these things to help me get back on track.
And as for myself, one of the largest things in the walls that I hit was my addiction. You know, I'm overcoming that addiction as I speak, and it's not that easy of a task to overcome. You know, it's like something I got to live with all my life. So having that community out here, not only at Lane, like we have a substance abuse program here that's open to everyone. And, you know, they have meetings here at Lane, and that's very fortunate to have out here. You know, I don't have to go off campus to get to my meetings. I can go to a meeting right here. I have someone that I can talk to right here at Lane. You know, my friends, my students, this is one of my largest supporters right here. You know, he's in the program as well. And, you know, he's a good friend of mine, you know, and we have differences, but, you know, we're able to speak about those differences and come to an understanding and know that, hey, we all have problems, and he's still my friend regardless of, you know, what's going on. So, you know, it's all change. You know, it's all about change, and that's what I'm pursuing, is to be a different Wesley Smith. You know, so yeah.
It seems like I hit a wall about every few months or so. Basically, I just get to a point to where I have to go back to relying on my connection with my God. And what that ends up being is that I have to start reaching out to people again. It just points me right back to that, because it means that I've strayed really far from people. I need connection with people, essentially, and basically when I reach that wall, it means the events have happened in sequence or enough that I've kept myself away from people and moved away slowly, and find myself just really far away and lonely and isolated. And at that point, the main reason why I say I have to go back to the connection with my God is because everything that I think about prior to reliance on God has been negative. Just almost everything leading to not living. You know, there's no purpose in living, and so I look outside of me because I have to find something. Because at the same time, I feel like there's something more important and something more urgent that's that there's my purpose that I have to do, and basically I'm looking for that, and that's where I find it, and that's where all the things are that I can't really come up with on my own, because everything that's my fabric just is negative, and so I have to have something else to counter that, and that's what I pursue, and it's really difficult because I try to make that a part of my life, just like everything that's extremely negative is me, and now the challenge is for me to recreate myself and make myself more positive. And that's what's most difficult, because my tendency is to be negative. And that's where I go back to when I'm at that wall. And that's why I need that something else to tell me that maybe I can get over that wall somehow, or get through that wall, you know, something positive, saying, yeah, I can. Yes, you can.
Sí se puede.
Sí se puede.
Well, thank you all again. We appreciate your honesty. It's been an honor. Thank you, Dr. Bell, for facilitating that, and Bart for giving the introduction. I think we're ready for lunch. Lunch is being served in the Hall of Honor. As you know, it's circular and smaller, so we'll have to take turns kind of going through that. The drinks are back in the back of the room, and we'll have till 1 o'clock, so we have plenty of time. And then we'll be back in here at 1 o'clock, and you're welcome to stay here and talk to the people with others. Okay, thank you.